1916, the 23rd of July, the fire come.
The whole sky turned pure red as if all the sky was on fire. And the women said, oh, that's the end of the world.
We all yelled, run to the station, run to the station. Take them away. Train off the
told me that he saw the church, which was right behind us, fall in before he left to us. He never saved the dog. The dog burned right at the door.
The railroad there, it was so hot that they just curled up like a hairpin.
After the fire was over and back, for 3 or 4 days, we just dug the potatoes from around the outside of the patch and eat them. They were baked. We had no food. All the stores were burnt and all the groceries and supplies were burnt.
You would
and
never forget when you'd see caskets, rough boxes piled as high as cordwood. You'd never forget it, you know.
Tents first. They sent in a bunch of tents for people to stay in.
My father said, well, we got to start building again. So that's just exactly what he done.
In these early years, fires could easily threaten a community and catch people unawares. An organization was soon developed that would revolutionize firefighting in the North. This organization, known as the Provincial Air Service, was first instigated in 1924. It originally started off to do fire detection. A flight was taken one day with a Laurentian paper company, and they picked up a fire, and ever since then, they progressed to what we are today.
After days of intensive firefighting, I think we can finally call this fire under control. We're combing the perimeter of over 20,000 acres of burnout forest to make sure the fire is completely out. The airborne thermal sensing unit, along with other handheld surveillance devices, will help the crews detect deep-seated smoldering embers not visible to the human eye. Mopping up a fire this size is a tedious and costly job, but we have to be absolutely certain that no threat to the surviving forest remains.
This is the main hangar installation for the whole province of Ontario. All the machines come in here for major overhauls only. If there is one that comes in to be replaced, they send another aircraft, Beaver or Otter, out there. The other aircraft stay out on base and are changed over on skis and carry on with the operations year-round. Supposing we're in a bit of a fire flap right now and the northwest region has a high fire hazard, this particular aircraft that are there are naturally taking part, but it's just like the Army, they move where the fight is, usually leaving one or two back where they came from to service ordinary flying like fish and wildlife, timber, lands, etc.
On every district throughout the province, fire protection staff spend a great deal of time mapping out areas that are of special value and fairly high hazards, such as mining or tourist or special logging areas, so that at any time if we have a fire in one of the locations, we know what the value there is involved, and we can put the proper suppression and manpower in there to do a good job on that fire. Each fire is always different. There's something unique or special about this fire, and that's the reason why all our equipment is made to pretty well handle any kind of condition that the fire crew or initial attack team at the fire might run into. Fire weather stations are positioned all over the province, and these weather stations of ours collect data which indicate the fuel dryness, how likely it's to ignite if somebody were to throw a match or a cigarette into the forest, the rate of spread, how deep a fire will burn, and let us know the general fire danger conditions so that we can notify the public of what the bush conditions are when they go to the forest, so they know how to handle themselves and any form of fire they might use.
Preventing forest fires is most important. Equipment used in forested areas have spark arresters, and these must be properly maintained. Potentially hazardous areas should be eliminated. Take railroads, for example. Controlled burning of the dead grass from the right-of-way prevents fires that may otherwise occur from railroad operations.
We have confirmed the fire as base map 4, 9er, 5, 864, northwest corner of Block 10. It is presently burning into mature spruce and jack pine. In the direction the fire is burning now, the spread potential is unlimited. At this time, I would recommend air attack. Al?
Confirming base map number 495864, northwest corner of Block 10. How?
Off, eh? We can't get at a nozzle now. Yeah, we'll take it out of here then. Well, we can stay here. We can take off this or come around this way. Okay. Just maybe stay there until we get off. We'll take it this way. We'll stay here. Maybe we'll go back there once.
Industry is required to have fire equipment at all work sites. Its staff will often take action on new fires before organized crews can arrive. When the suppression team arrives, an aerial survey quickly determines the best method of attack, and directions are given to those on the ground.
Hey, ready this end. Yeah.
Okay, we just arrived here and it's the peak burning period of the day. The fire is approximately 5,000 acres. But with all that smoke, it's making it very difficult to map the fire accurately.
Our task is to roughly map the perimeter of the fire and determine the amount of manpower and equipment required to effectively launch an attack. Before we can choose locations for our base and line camps, we have to determine where the fire is heading, how fast it's going, and how far it can spread. We have to find water sources for pumps, lakes large enough for water bombers, and access points for trucks and heavy equipment.
Just north of us, there's a logging community and approximately $1 million worth of cut timber. And from discussing with the district manager, I understand that if that wood was to burn, the local mill would have to close down. This has priority not because of the way it's burning right now, but because of the values to protect. We feel that it's got a lot of spread potential over here. There's not that much over here, but the spread potential is all on this side. If we get any southwest wind, I think we might have fun. Now we just went and flew at the fire, and it's a lot drier than I thought it would be. We thought it was just going to be smoking, but there's flames out there. Over the past 2 days, 42 new fires have started in the northwest portion of the province. Every available resource at hand has been flooded into the region to help supply the crews. Each piece of equipment that we receive is a precious and vital tool.
In the next 24 hours, we will be placing anywhere from 50 to 100 men in 5-man units at strategic locations in the bush. Every factor must be considered in order to sustain a safe and efficient organization on the fire line. decided to divide the fire into two divisions. The area of highest priority lies between the fire's leading edge and the valuable timber to the northeast. There's a river running through the area, creating a natural fire break. Our job is going to be to establish hose lines on each end of the leading edge, while water bombers cool down the hot spots in the less accessible areas. We're going to try and pinch it off before it jumps the river. That's where we had the large water bombers working in there. And with their support and the crews that were there, we managed to hold it on the south side of the river. That was the main priority, as John's been saying, because of the cutwood that's up to the north of that. Jerry, would you mind running down the weather for us, please? You got the information over here, right?
I don't have any good news, John. Tomorrow what they're calling for is the temperatures in the mid to high 20s. And the winds, this is what's going to be the real problem. From the south to southeast, 35 kilometers and gusting even stronger than that. The instability is also going to increase, so we may have more of a problem there also. So we don't get much break there at all.
So based on that weather and based on the areas that we do not have tied in, we're going to lose some acreage tomorrow. So what will our plan be?
We're about 5 miles out. We'll be there on the hour.
We want you to work up in the northwest corner. There's that high value area just north of it that we're giving it a high priority area, and we're getting a south wind, and we certainly don't want to go across that river in there, so we would like you to work on that area. We'll identify it for you better when you get over.
Oh, and that's all, Roger. I think I know the area you mean anyway, John. I'll give you a call when we get there. 12-146.
Yeah, Roger, thanks.
There's the guys in orange suits there to give you directions once you're there, okay? Okay.
After 2 days, I think our efforts have begun to take effect.
By burning out key areas, we're managing to starve off fuel, creating the necessary fire break. I'd say that's really fighting fire with fire. Bulldozer crews are working lines around the outlying log piles to try and save them. But some of the piled wood has already been lost or is now on fire.
What we all have to hope for is some deepening of this low pressure area into a system that will bring us some steady rains as opposed to just the showers and the thunderstorms.
Are we wishing for that?
Yeah.
Or is there a possibility?
There's a possibility.
Cleared up back down the sector here on the left side. That's right. How are you? What's your bit up? All right, we've got
Start igniting from the lake.
I guess the plan for you this evening is to walk back over. Well, I don't know. It's pretty damn heavy. It's really bad here right now. Right, Gus. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get anything portable. You're going to have water on that short with your tanker, are you? You want to take the loop?
Carl, you're going to go back to the next box of holes, and Ed's going to take the loop here, okay? Back up there, Paul.
That's affirmative, sir. There's a hose line right there. The hose line going upstream and downstream off that puzzle. Take a look at where it jumped over the lake. But down on the west end of the sector now, up where we're going to have rectangular cross on the west. Go ahead and go. Roger, Ron, how can we go there? Well, I don't know. I think we got it under control, but I'm not sure. We're going to run out of gas pretty soon. I left the other thing gas there, please. Yeah, but we have to fill it up, though. Yeah.
Boy, it's hot. Thunderstorms tonight with a chance of rain. Should be good news for our friends fighting that 20,000-acre campfire just north of us. For tomorrow, high mid-20s with a chance of rain tapering off by evening. Thursday outlook, sunny and warm.
Well, in a short time, I think we would have had it licked. But you know, it sure is nice to see the rain.
Hell of a mess, eh, John?